Hi, everyone. So today we are going to talk about the 10th grade AP Social Science option, which is World History Modern. I'm sure that you have plenty of questions. I will do my best to answer them in this presentation. And if you have further questions, there will be a couple email addresses at the end that you can ask further ones of. So to start off with, so in 10th grade for history, you have to take a world history class to fulfill graduation requirements. And you have three levels, three options to choose from. You can take the college prep or CP level. This is the default, the normal curriculum, normal course. You can take honors, or you can take advanced placement, or we usually shorten it and call it AP. So if you do choose the AP path, there is one course that meets that requirement. Officially, its name is AP World History Modern. However, we just commonly call it World History. It's shorter that way. So before we talk about the course specifically, there are some necessary skills that myself and the other teacher who teaches this class, Ms. Netzley, feel like you need to be aware of. And by far, the biggest, most important, but often most difficult skill to master is time management. Because you're going to constantly be given work, but it may not be due the next day. It may not be due at the end of that period. It may be due in a few days. It may be due in a couple weeks. So it is entirely up to you to pace yourself. The teacher is not going to constantly be checking on you of, have you started the homework that you were given on Monday that's due on Friday? You have to set aside the time. You have to figure out, how am I going to break this down? Because we get it. We're not going to assign you some big assignment that is due the next day, because you have other commitments. There are things that you may need to do, but you still have to do it at some point within that time window. So we trust that you will make the time. So there will be homework over the weekends. That does not mean there's more homework on a Friday because there's 2 more days than a Tuesday. You're going to get the same amount of homework you would on a Friday as a Tuesday. There's also potentially homework over winter and spring break, especially because for spring break, that's usually around the time that we're finishing the course and transferring over to review. So your daily time management and portioning out reading and writing assignments daily make it manageable. Procrastination is your enemy. You must be self motivated, because we try to cover as much as we can in class, but it is impossible to cover the entire curriculum within the 55 minutes that we have a day. So there will be a lot of things that you will be reading and learning independently that we will never talk about in class, but you are still responsible for. And there are no real breaks until May, after the AP test is taken. As I said, there's weekend homework. There is likely going to be homework over the breaks. But after you take that test in May, then you can have a breather. But until then, it's about time management. And avoiding this meme, where I'm very busy doing things I don't need to do in order to avoid doing anything I'm actually supposed to do. Don't be this guy. Other necessary skills: reading ability. You're going to be reading and using a high level textbook, as well as reading, analyzing, writing, and discussing with secondary sources. These are excerpts from other books, magazines, textbooks, and what we call primary sources. So, a primary source is something that was written then, translated to English. Obviously, we're not going to ask you to read something written in Sanskrit, and then answer questions with that. But you also have to be a good writer, because we'll talk in a little bit about the AP exam itself. but 60% of your score on the AP exam is based on free response, the written section. But you also have to be a good test taker, a multiple choice test taker, because 40% of the exam is based on multiple choice. And then lastly, and this is perhaps something even harder than time management, patience. You work from August to May, and you will work really, really hard. But there's a payoff. That payoff comes in July when you get that email from the College Board that tells you got a 5, a 4, or a 3. It may say a 2 or a 1, but given the track record of myself and Ms. Netzley, very, very few people get that. But once you get that passing score, you realize that's what you've worked for. Or as this kind of terrified SpongeBob kind of meme of world history AP students just waiting for their AP score, waiting, waiting. Or in the immortal words of the late great Tom Petty, the waiting is the hardest part. So let's talk about the course itself. This is the official course description. It studies the interaction between humans and the environment, demography and disease, migration, patterns of settlement, and technology that lead to the development of the world we know today. So the point of this course is, how did we get to today? How did we get to the world you live in? And you get to see over the span of hundreds, thousands of years, what has changed, what has stayed the same. And you get to see things that happened a century ago, a millennium ago, still impact the world today. So what is the timeline? Well, for what the course covers, and there's a slight difference between the course and the exam. The course covers 3000 BCE to present, or roughly 5,000 years. The exam does not start until 1200 CE and goes to present. So that is 800 years. So that leaves 4,200 years that are not on the AP exam. So, but there are things we have to cover. So the first month or so of the course, we do a really, really quick overview of the first 4,200 years, 300 BC to 1200 CE, to set the stage. These things may not be directly on the AP exam, but without it, you won't understand what happens after 1200. So these are the 6 themes, which is what was part of the course description: humans and the environment, cultural developments and interactions, governance, economic systems, social interactions and organization, technology and innovation. So as we make our way through the course, when we are presenting material, when you are reading material, you're going to be doing work that is categorizing it. What themes does it fit? Because the College Board loves to bring in these themes in the free response questions. This is the world map. These are the regions of the world. And we will talk about not just continents, but specific regions like Latin America versus North America, East Africa versus North Africa, South Asia versus East Asia. So this is a map that you'll become very familiar with. There are 9 units, 4 time periods. And as we make our way through the class, we will make sure that you're aware of this, what themes apply, what essential questions apply. Each unit is worth roughly the same amount on the AP exam, but the middle ones are worth a little bit more. So what are some topics to study? Well, in that 3000 BCE to 1200 CE, the 4,200 years we have to set the stage for you, we talk about things that are like 6th and 7th grade history. The ancient civilizations, Egypt, Mesopotamia, Indus. Classical civilizations like Greece, Rome, Persia, China, Mesoamerica. And we talk about all the world religions that existed pre-1200, which is almost all of them. But then for the main course, we talk about trade and interaction in the post-classical world. medieval Afro-Eurasia, meaning Africa, Europe, and Asia, and the Mongols, African empires like the Maya, Aztec, Inca, the Age of Exploration, so the discovering of America, the Renaissance, Reformation, Enlightenment, the Atlantic Revolutions, the American, French, Haitian, Latin American, the Industrial Revolution, the Age of Imperialism, the World Wars, the Cold War, and then we finish with decolonization, so places like Africa, Asia getting their independence from Europe, and then globalization, which is the world we live in. It is a global society. This is the textbook that you use. And for this textbook, it's technically a review guide. It is 750 pages. A regular textbook is probably about 1,300. It's 10 to 15 pages per week, which if you're using the textbook, it's probably about 30. And Ms. Netze and I decided a couple years ago to use this instead of like an official textbook because we understand you have other classes, you have other work to do, and the regular book can be overwhelming. And we like this review guide because it is perfectly aligned with the course. It is shorter, it is more concise, it tells you exactly what you need to know. So, what about the exam itself? So, the date is going to be somewhere in May of next year. They haven't set the official dates. So, you will start off with a multiple choice section 55 questions in 55 minutes. And these are not your straightforward, like, which of the following people invented the light bulb multiple choice questions. These are what are called stimulus based response. You're given a reading passage, a map, a chart, a picture, something, and then you use that to answer 2 to 4 questions. So it's not just about fact based recall, about memorization. Then you have free response. You will have 3 what are called short answer questions within 40 minutes. And then you will have 2 essays to write in 100 minutes. One of these essays is called a DBQ, or a document-based question essay. It's like a research paper where the research has been done for you. They give you a question, they give you 7 documents, and you use those 7 documents to answer that question. The other essay is what is called the long essay question. This is more open-ended, where you're just simply given a prompt, and you're going to compare and contrast something, or cause and effect, or what changes and stays the same. And as I said earlier, for the scoring, 40% is the multiple choice, 60% is the free response sections combined. And what does that score mean? Well, in general, because the AP is scored on a 1 through 5, the 5s are A's, 4s are B's, 3s are C's, 2s are D's, and the 1s are F's. And in general, with many, many years of a track record of this, it pretty consistently correlates. Our A students usually get 5s, our B students usually get 4s, but some of them go up, and so on. So they tend to going to be a very good predictor of your AP exam score, because the entire point of the course, the entire reason that Ms. Netze and I give you the work that you will have is to prepare you for it. We want you to be prepared, and we want it to match up with what your grades are. So the last thing is, what is AP World versus like the traditional course, either CP or honors? So AP World is 1200 to present. It focuses on all regions of the world in roughly equal balance. It is said the course is meant to be no more than 30% Europe. And in reality, it's probably closer to 20. And because we are preparing you for the AP exam, we have to finish the curriculum. We will get to basically present day. In the CP and honors world classes, they are roughly 1750 to present. It is very, very focused on Europe. And whether the curriculum is completed, whether you get to truly get to present day or not, entirely depends on your teacher and whether that teacher gets to that point. So these are some of the differences. But if you choose to take AP World History, you will be prepared. You can do it. Trust me, after you've taken this class, this meme will be a lot funnier. Trust me on that. So the last thing, because if you decide to take AP World History, you will actually learn stuff. If you have any questions about anything in this presentation, anything in this class, please email the other teacher, excuse me, Ms. Netsley, snetsley at ghctk12.com, or myself, Mr. Yager, at eyager at ghctk12.com. I hope this was informative. Thank you for watching.